And the refresh button is not the factor. Okay, Alice, we're live.
Today, a little bit different.
This is actually
Right, Leslie,
our first
please
lunch.
join me.
I'm coming. I just had to press some buttons.
Okay, all of you guys can jump in here because for us, it's such a unique situation out there, which everybody know and everybody talk about, but not everybody utilize or take advantage about.
Absolutely.
So-called the utility program, right? Let me ask you this. In your opinion, how big the utility program are we talking about? It's available out there.
It's pretty big.
Okay. How big? Quantified.
$319 million in utility lighting or utility dollars for LED lighting projects for the commercial and industrial market. So
only for the commercial industrial market.
Correct. I actually put some facts and figures together.
Okay.
But
so if
I'll try to remember them all.
Okay. So if that's the case, if you're talking about a $1 billion commercial market, right? We're talking about close to 40%. The area has utility money available.
Well, I actually have all of that pulled up. So
Okay.
you can go to slide 4, I think, Nikki.
Oh,
If you want to share the screen and go to slide 4. I think it's 4 or 5.
Okay.
Here we go. So there are currently 3,347 utilities in the United States, Alice.
Right.
Of that, 1,106 are currently offering programs.
So you're
Utility
talking about
funding.
1/3. You're talking about 1/3, 30% of the utility company in the United States offering the programs.
Correct. And
Right.
of that, only 941 still have funding available. Because remember, we're in September, so we're almost at the end of their calendar year.
So you're talking about, right? So in other words, there's a couple of things happen. Number one is that during the March to last month, let's say, okay, pretty much the activity is going down. So even the utility programs available out there,
Right.
people not able to install the units, so it's not really
Available.
available.
Well, and a lot
Okay.
of, we heard out of some markets, the utility companies actually put their funding on hold during some
Correct.
like peak COVID times.
But do you think all the program on hold is coming back right now?
I don't know, that's 50.
But where does your 941 come from?
My 941?
Right, you say still open.
Okay, I don't understand your question.
Okay, because
We actually have a tool that goes out and
no,
tells us.
hold on
Okay.
a second. Because we talk about percentage, okay?
Sure.
We're talking about 30% of all the utility company in the United States has the programs. Okay,
Correct.
there you say 941 programs are still open.
Correct.
But you also mentioned during the COVID nasty time between March and the last month, I would say, right? Certain utility program holding back or
Yep.
not processing the utility program. At this moment, are you talking about a 941 program literally open?
Yes, real time.
Real
Hold
time.
that about an hour ago.
Okay. That means almost close to 90%, 85 to 90% of programs still open,
Correct.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let me say something kind of silly and stupid.
Okay, go ahead and you can stop the share.
Okay.
I love it when we say things silly and stupid.
Right, because based on how many years, okay, since 1993, with my accumulating of the knowledge of the utility program.
I love it.
Number one, you have up to 85 to 90% programs still open.
Okay.
Number two, those programs for the last 6 months, let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, during the 5 to 6 month period, those programs not really being utilized. In other words, the money not really being spent.
I would
Because of inactivity
I would
in the
agree with
market.
that. Yeah, or not maximized to its fullest potential.
Right,
Mhm.
okay,
I
so
would agree
that's
with
my
that.
second point.
Yep.
Let me turn my third point.
Okay.
You know, I used to be envy the utility administrator
Why is that?
because they sit on a pile of the money and before the end of the year, all their jobs to get rid of the money. I wish we have that kind of job here to get rid of money before the end of the year. Do you follow what I'm saying here?
I think that would be a great job personally to
Right.
just sit on a giant pile of money and
Right.
just go like this. You get some money.
You get some money. You get some money, right?
You upgraded your lighting? Here, take some money.
I'm not not kidding here. That's what they do. Before the end of the year, they go nuts on it because they have to get rid of money. That's how they're going to get a promotion out of this, okay?
That's actually true. That's how they're measured, on how
That's a
much
measure.
of the money that they've given out during
Right.
the year, and how many of their projects actually reduce the footprint and the kilowatts
Right.
off the grid.
Right.
Yep.
So that being said, that means all of us have to realize that actually between now, okay, already halfway through September,
Yeah.
all the way to the end
We're
of the
almost
year,
in Q4.
okay, right? This utility program will go nuts because inactivity for the last 5 to 6 months.
Well, and they have to use up the money.
Right.
If the program wasn't canceled, they have to use up the money before the end of the year because it doesn't roll over,
Right.
at least in normal years.
Exactly. Okay. So that being said, let's just set, it's what we call opportunities, right? That's how
It's a
big the
huge
opportunities
opportunity.
out there. Okay. So if you take my percentage, remember you mentioned another number. I hope you still remember that. Okay. The other number was 395 million. Is what you're talking about?
319 million, I believe.
Okay.
Nikki can correct me on
319
that.
million. Okay. So 319 million, that's the average out for the 300 million. 300 million at a 80 to 90%. You're talking about 20, you're talking
Oh,
about,
370. I was totally off.
okay, 370. But based on the percentage we're talking about,
Okay.
370 times 90%.
Okay.
Remember that 90% is still available. So you're still talking about 379 and 576. You're talking about $330 million is still available at this point. You know what I mean? I take a 90% of that. Okay, now
Potentially.
this is what we call being defined opportunity. Let me ask the next question.
Okay.
In all our friends watching right now, okay, including myself,
Okay.
not you, because that's what you do the best. You know the stuff. I don't. How many people out there really understand the programs or the availability of the programs?
Oh gosh. In my experience, I think people understand the programs. They understand that there's money out there. There's different people that have a different understanding along the way. But the number one thing that I hear from time to time when dealing with some of these things is it's too difficult, it's too hard, we don't know how to find the information, or once we have the information, we don't know what to do to get it processed. I've heard a lot of different stuff about utility funding and why people don't take advantage of it. Especially on larger projects.
Right. So in other words,
or we cross multiple utilities. It's too hard.
Let's say this. It doesn't matter how hard it is. We're talking about a program.
Yep. And they're all different. That's the other thing.
So
all
down
different.
here.
Okay.
Based on the availability of the products, do you and your team have the detail, or you can put your hands on of all the programs available in the United States?
Yes, and Canada.
And in Canada. So your team knows all of that, right?
They are very good.
Because I have to start from somewhere. So I start from Leslie, okay? Leslie and her team knows every single program in the United States.
Yep.
Right? Okay, that's step number one. Now, let me say something stupid again.
I love it.
I think I would say most people even don't know what's available out there.
I would agree with that.
Right? So I thought your team's job is really need to, not supposed to be the utility company's job, right? But hey, we are in this business. So I think we should be aggressively reach out to everybody out there, tell those people in their territories what kind of programs they have available out there.
Well, Alice, I don't think that our team internally here at TCP sometimes even realizes that we have a little group, small little team of people, TCP employees, that 100% of their job is to deal with and manage utility programs. So they are contacting the utilities, they are working with utilities, they are working with distributors, they're looking at our products and they're figuring out what fits where in which markets.
Right.
So I would say that not even 100% of my sales team employees know that one, we have that little team, and two, that these things exist that they can take advantage of.
Right. So I think number one is I agree with you. I think this between the connection between
Oh, there's
people.
a huge
You
disconnection.
see, you already told me you have two different teams, right? You have a sales team,
Mhm.
you have a utility team.
Yep,
Okay.
that's what they're
Even
called.
sometimes they don't talk to each other.
They
So the salespeople really don't know. So our utility team right now being so aggressively broadcasting the news, so-called, right? From each area internally or be externally reach out to all of your guys. You have a utility program, you have a utility program, you have a utility program out there. Otherwise, people simply don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about awareness of the utility program, the program by itself. Okay. So that being said, okay, do we have something online? You call identify TCP help you to identify through your sales net this and that. Hey, look into it, okay?
Oh, you don't even have to, we're not even fancy. So in fact, Nikki, if you do the screen share and go to the Firefox, I have it all teed up for us.
Okay, let's go for it.
Here we go.
Okay.
Right? So there you go. So we're going to go over, we're not hidden, we're not hiding, we're not nothing anything on this. It's super, super simple. This is tcpi.com. This is our public facing website. And if you scroll down just a little teeny bit, you'll see that button that says rebates. Click that button. So that takes you to our rebates page, which is just a super simple one for people to ask questions. But if you go up a little bit, and I had already redirected this, but apparently there was a caching error. Go up, click on that link, find utility rebates in your area. So if you click on that button and your page isn't cached, you're going to go to this page. And this page allows you to put in your zip code, select a product category, and find out what the exact rebates are on TCP products. So if you know what product you're working on or what project you're kind of working for, you can narrow it down to see if there's a utility rebate in your market and how much that rebate is.
It sounds so easy to me because what I watch you is what I call 3 clicks. Click,
It's pretty
click, boom, you're there.
It's actually down to 2 clicks.
2 clicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Needed it clear.
Right.
Yeah.
So actually can go very fast. That
It's
means
super fast.
that's a step number 1, right?
That's it.
You have
Like,
to know what's
that's
available out
step
there.
number 1, and it's super, super simple. And the neat thing about this is the tool that we utilize for this program automatically, whenever we get a new product that's DLC or Energy Star, it automatically gets synced into this database, and then it looks up what that match amount would be for those products.
So
That's pretty darn cool. And Nikki's scrolling through it really fast here because you've got all kinds of light bulbs that she's scrolling through, all kinds of fixtures that are on this list that would qualify for different rebate amounts. It's very simple. It's very easy to use. But the other neat thing is if you get stuck or you don't know how to use this or you're confused between the program types, because there's prescriptive and midstream and all kinds of different words that are used within the utility language, you just email our utilities team, and a real person that's knowledgeable and informed about these things is more than happy to help you out.
So let me ask you something, okay? Now I hate to challenge you,
I love
okay?
it
But
when you
once
challenge
why
me.
I have to give you a hard time.
I love having
So
a
try
hard
to
time.
humble you, okay? Can you explain to me the difference between upstream and the downstream and the middle stream?
Midstream programs and prescriptive programs?
Yeah.
I actually
What's
have
the
some
ups and
slides
downs?
for that.
Wow.
So
Really?
you want to pop up the slides?
Sure.
And I
see what I
stole
mean?
these slides because I am not well versed in this from Colleen Rainey, who is our utilities person. And if you go down, whoop. Well, before we get to that, Alice, I just want to show a couple of pictures because I think they're kind of impactful. That is a map of the United States of current states that have some sort of utility funding for LED products.
It's a lot.
So 48 out of 50 states have something, and then the Canadian ones there.
That's a lot.
With the provinces.
That's a lot.
So there's something. And
So
they might not be huge, but there's something.
I misinterpret that because
totally misinterpreted.
right, because you said there's more than 3,000 of the utility companies, but only more than 1,000 offering the program. I thought only 1/3 of that.
Because you got to remember, Alice, that within a state you would have like 10 utility companies.
I see. I see.
Because remember, there's all kinds of layers that go into this. And within that, you can have all kinds of different things around that. So if you go to that slide.
That's interesting. That's almost cover more than 90% of the territories, right?
Yep.
Wow, keep going.
So then this is about our midstream programs. And you know what? I think Colleen actually popped on. If you
She
wanna,
is.
if
on
you want to
here.
make her a presenter, she can talk about this so much more
Okay.
eloquently than I
Let's
can. And I
see.
promised that I would make her a panelist. So if
Okay.
you go and find her name, and then if you want to make her a panelist,
And she should be moving over.
and then Colleen,
There we go.
Colleen, unmute yourself. We'd love to hear, because you put in the work on these things and you know them way better than I do. Tell us about the difference between midstream and prescriptive and the different types of programs.
I only understand upstream and downstream.
Upstream and downstream is all.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess the important thing to point out is that Ellis and Leslie are using different terms to describe the same things. So you've got a midstream, which is downstream, and a prescriptive, which is upstream. And really that's basically denoting where the funding is starting and where it's ending. So if it's starting at the distributor going to the end user, then it's downstream. If it's starting at like the end user, then it's like upstream. So you're trying to push the business up to the distributor, and then the opposite is pushing it from the distributor down to the end
Okay,
user.
hold on a second. Then I have another question for you. Let's do a simple version. When you say upstreams from the end user to the distributor, the downstream from electric distributor end users. Okay, now understand. Okay, your downstream is instant rebate. Your upstream is calculation on the savings. Am I right?
Well, they calculate different ways. The terminology really is just based off of kind of where the funding is starting and where
I know,
it's
but
ending.
easily for people to understand. We know the fundings right now. Let's do a common way. I thought there's only two rebates available out there. One is we call it instant rebate, right?
It's
Okay,
also called midstream. Yep.
that's called a midstream,
Okay, so
right?
midstream's instant.
Instant rebate.
Yep.
Okay, so let's say what's the downstream?
Prescriptive. That's where there's an application process that needs to take place.
Okay, is upstream.
Upstream would be prescriptive, right?
It's the same. So downstream, upstream is the same thing.
You got it. Mhm.
Okay, good. It just comes from two different ways. Who processed the paper, right?
Yep, yep.
So let me ask you, the second question is this, okay? Doesn't matter downstream or upstream, okay? Obviously, some end users knows how to process the paper, but for any electrical distributors or for any ESCOs, they literally actually process the paper for the end users. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. For the same token, Colleen, you also able to process the paper for anybody, either the distributors or with the end users.
Or contractors. Yep. Anybody in the process.
Okay.
So wait a
right?
second.
Does that make sense? Yes.
We have a person, Colleen,
Yeah.
that can help do the paperwork
Right.
when we're confused, like I am, about the upstream, downstream, midstream, and make sure that we can get our funding,
Right.
right?
Yes, that's correct.
It's that simple. So
But-
yeah. You go ahead.
How much are we charging for this service, Alice? I mean, because this sounds very time consuming, very expensive.
This is the beauty. Okay,
hard.
I hate to, some people watching our show may get upset what we're going to talk about, because this is the way I understand Colleen and Leslie.
Okay.
If I say something really stupid
I
and
love telling you you're saying something
you
silly.
just do something to me, okay? So, but that being said, that means the way I understand is actually you have several ways to handle that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, number one is the electrical distributor or at ESCO in that utility program, or their business is built on the utility program.
Sure.
That's a part of their job to process the paper,
Right.
to attract their customers.
Right.
Number one, right? So those guys is on the one side. The second is there's a third party
Mm-hmm.
out there, right?
Sure.
The third party will collect the money to process the paper for people.
And they usually take a percentage of that.
Take a percentage of that,
Mhm.
okay? So the third one is a TCP. We as a manufacturer, we have the lighting company, we will process the paper for other people without charge. Yes or no?
Yes. So what I think you just said, Ellis, is TCP does not charge to process the paper. We offer this as a free service
Correct.
to distributors or contractors that utilize 90% or more of TCP product on their bid.
Right. Okay, exactly.
Pretty
Exactly.
awesome.
That's
So
pretty
this is
awesome.
a free
Okay,
service
right now.
that TCP provides.
Okay, hold on. Okay, then slow down right now.
Okay.
Slow down, guys. Slow down. Connie, I have a question for you, or anybody. Okay, you guys can jump in.
Because again,
Okay.
we're switching our format with our Let's Talk Lighting, and we're talking about lighting because this is a huge part of
Huge
this is
part of
utility rebates. I mean, we're talking about $370 million in funding last year and over 1,000 different programs this year. Of that, 900 and some are still active and available to take advantage of. So
Right.
let's jump in.
Let's jump in. In the
Chat
meantime,
in or raise your hand and we can.
Unmute you.
let's say we do all the educated guess here. Okay?
Okay.
Because sometimes we have to assume certain things.
Okay.
Now, within those $300 some million available out there
Sure.
today, okay, Connie and Leslie, tell me, okay, you have ESCO out there,
Okay.
electrical distributors,
Sure.
right? Let me ask you this. What's the percentage of those electrical ESCO? Obviously, they do that for a living.
That's
So
how they make
they
their
take
money.
those guys
Mhm.
out. But let me ask you two questions,
Okay.
okay? In the entire lighting business today, what do you think the ESCO's portion by percentage?
I don't know.
I can tell you that, less than 5%,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably pretty small.
3 to 5%, very small,
'Cause
okay?
they usually only deal on large projects.
But that's become small, okay? You see what I mean, okay?
Taking advantage of all things.
Okay,
ESCO related.
That's number
So
one.
not just
Let me ask,
lighting.
I'm just telling you, this is actually, people make a living on that, but that group constitute the entire lighting business projects they do out there, actually is pretty small overall.
Absolutely, because they're
Okay.
looking at the big picture of that retro,
Okay.
not just the lighting.
Okay, then let me ask you a second question.
Okay.
Colin, you can jump in on this one. In those utility program available areas, what's the percentage of the electrical distributors or the lighting distributors engaged with the utility program?
Well, Colleen would probably know that better than I would.
Colin,
I mean,
give an educated guess here.
My educated guess would be that, from a corporate level of a large distributor, they're pretty much all engaged. But how that funnels down to the actual branches is there's still a gap there. So even though a large distributor corporate office might know about a utility program, their sales guys, I would say like more than half of the time, don't bother with utility rebate because it's too much work.
Correct.
And they just don't sell based off of rebate. They don't use it as the tool that it's intended to be.
But Colleen, if there's over $300 million worth of funds out there, isn't that like money on the table?
Yes, and you look at it from the end user's perspective. They are not in the lighting business, the energy saving business, any of that. So they are less likely to know about it. And really at the end of the day, the end user is the one that kind of suffers from that, because this money's intended for the end user to offset the initial cost of ownership for that project. So if the distributor's just selling it to them at full price and not helping them take advantage of the rebates, the end user is getting, is leaving the money on the table there.
Correct, because let's just
That's
face it,
sad.
okay, as you call a stream, a downstream.
Mhm.
End users, okay, end users are really not engaged with that. End users only know what they know unless the end user is sophisticated. I'll give you guys a perfect example, okay? Even right in this business, my wife and I always talking about get some solar panels, right? Okay,
Mhm.
we always try to convince each other there's a utility program out there where to get it. You know what? 10 years passed, we never did it. Okay, why? Because we as end users, really, unless you're into this, okay,
Mhm.
you look into it, then you will find out the utility. So most likely, in my opinion, end user is not really doing that much to collect it. unless the electrical distributor or lighting distributor pushing the program. Now the problem based on what you said right now is maybe up to 50%. I even do not believe in that. I think it's between 15 and 20% of all the utility, all the electrical distributors literally fully engage, process the paper, and push through. Okay, otherwise, not there. I believe that tons of the money is being
Just
left on the table right now.
I agree. Or not necessarily spread out as much as
No.
you think.
Okay,
So we have somebody that raised their hand and wants to speak. Tom,
Yes.
we're going to put Tom
Tom?
live. Here we go. Ready?
yeah,
Let's
Tom.
see if he does it. He had raised his hand.
Okay,
Let's see if he does it. It's our first time doing this. I'm excited.
Tom, are you there?
We just asked him if he wanted to unmute, so we'll see if.
Maybe he hit
Okay.
the button on accident.
Possibly.
It's okay, Tom.
So-
Type in your question too, or your
So,
comment.
so guys, it's a mind-boggling. I tell you why mind-boggling, because we know we move the products here. We know some utility, certain area, there's a few company, they go nuts on it, nuts on it, because their business model is built on the utility rebate program, period. And you will not believe what kind of volume they're moving, the projects they're
Oh,
getting.
for sure.
They do called one-stop service, right?
Mhm.
We do they do the audit, okay? They using TCP products to fit into the projects they're doing. They process all the paperwork. They hire the contract. They do all in one service. Those guys literally making money
we
on
had
it.
a comment from Robert who
Yeah.
said that he's an independent distributor and that he has staff on his team that also does this. They
Right.
look for the rebates, they scour, and they
Sure.
do the filing for people because that's a way for them to compete with some of the big some of the big
Right.
groups.
Robert, you're great, guys. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you know, these days we have to looking for all the opportunity to
Absolutely.
make money on it, okay?
Well, and
So,
especially if you can offer that service of doing the filing, it's fantastic.
sure. But in the meantime, Robert, also let us know, okay?
We're happy to help.
We will help to do whatever from our side to even matching more products into your program now. Okay, because the more you can offer to match the program, the more you can do. So sometimes if you look at the whole list of the utility availability on it,
Mhm.
okay, we will jump back into here, communicate with you to make sure we would offer either one or two or three different type of products for one rebate program. That will
Absolutely.
increase your availability, increase your accessibility to get more money.
Absolutely. And that's where Colleen comes in because she can help do that matching and
Right.
figuring out what the best is. Because I know sometimes I get confused because a lot of it goes off of the kilowatt hour savings. And for me, that's a lot of math. I'm not the smartest girl. And doing that math is hard. And that's where you can lean on our team to kind of help out and figure out like that dollar amount based on kilowatt hours saved. Because
Right.
I know that's something that I'm not good at.
Right, right. Okay, so that being said, let's start from beginning one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Program is a program,
Yeah. And
okay?
there's different types.
This is availability, it's available out there,
Yeah.
okay? It's all based on who is doing the research, who is doing the broadcasting. As you see right now, TCP as a company will do as much as possible. Colleen will reach out all of your guys. We will make sure Colleen's contact information will
They
be
can hit that
available.
utilities at
Right.
tcpi.com and
And
it goes
you're-
right over to Colleen.
To go to Colleen and whatever for those guys, just engage. Let her know what we can help. For your guys, Robert, your guys is fully engaged with that. We can see what can we do to help you to grab as much as possible. Hey, it's money on the table. Why not? Right? It's a fair game.
Absolutely.
It's a fair game. Just grab it as much as you can. We'll do whatever it takes to help you to do that.
Right,
Okay.
Colleen?
Right.
That's
And
correct.
obviously, the one thing I want to point out here is this. Colleen, correct if I'm wrong, okay? What I call the return on investment, because of those calculations on the savings. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct.
If the calculation on the savings or the TCP especially coming something like that, okay? TCP today able to offer high lumen per watt
We do
products.
160 lumen per watt panels.
panels.
Paul will talk about
Right.
them all day.
Okay, right, 160 lumens per watt TA tubes. When you calculate on that, we will show you with a high lumen package, this our specialty, able to help you to generate more money. Then obviously you will do the calculation because, for instance, right?
Mhm.
For instance, okay, a 100, for instance, TA tubes. Okay,
Okay.
remember TA tubes? We have 190 lumens per watt.
Yes, we do.
Okay, we have 1800 lumens packaging at 9.5 watt. That's 190 lumens per watt. 190 lumens per watt, obviously, the cost will go up a little bit. So we will do the calculation for you. Cost increase versus the rebate.
Mhm.
Which will you go? Okay, sometimes let me say this way, okay, the people give you more money on the high efficiency and far more than the cost of the products be increased.
Absolutely. So in fact, like I was doing a little bit of research on 2x2 panels
Yes.
before we got started today and looking at the biggest rebate I could find on a 2x2 troffer in the United States. And I found a $200 rebate on a 2x2, which I
Right.
think is bananas. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it was just looking at the biggest one I could find. And the smallest one is funny because it's a $2 rebate per unit. So again, like the amounts and the savings and all of that factor into all of this, and it's just vastly different. And that's why it's important to take a look, see what things are, and reach out, because again, you don't have to be an expert to maximize your rebates. You just have to know who to contact to help you out along the way.
Right, but along the way, let me say this. Right now, it's still at a difficult time, like I said, okay? I think between now and at the end of the year, I don't think until the vaccine come out, it's kind of people still in a very conservative behavior right now, okay? That being said, you know what? $2, almost 3 to 5% of the margin on it. You know, if I were you guys, okay, I will grab the $2. I will. However, I'm going to grab a different fashion because I'm kind of lazy today. I would like to have a $2, but I really don't want to do the paperwork. You know what I'm going to do? I call somebody's name Colleen, okay? You know what I mean? Why not? The money is there. Somebody will process the paper for you.
Absolutely.
Why not?
I call Colleen too.
Right. Right? Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, we are so flexible here. We have so much knowledge, we're able to do that. So
somebody else asked, do we know approximately how much ESCOs charge as a percentage wise? And I think that number varies project by project, ESCO by ESCO. I know some of the ones that we've heard of where they actually get paid on the ROI and they take advantage of some of the first so many years of the savings of the paybacks, and that's why it's so important that you get that dedicated ROI out of it. They go all different ways as far as how they get that money back out of that project. So it's not nearly like a flat percentage.
Yeah, but that's a little bit different because normally, let's say this, okay? I think we can do a quick calculation as my way to do it. If you look at panels, it's easy way to do on the panels.
Go ahead, Alex.
If you do a panels, you have a 32 watt times 4, okay? Basic on the regular panels, you have 128 watts, okay? Now, Connie, watch if I'm doing something stupid here, okay? So what do we do? Paul steps in, right? Paul said, you know what? The worst case, Paul always so conservative. So worst case, using TCP 2x4 46 watt, right? I may not do that, but Paul said, do that, okay? That's the worst case. So you're talking about 46 watt here, so you end up at 82 watts saved. That's it. You calculate what's being saved and calculate the utility program based on the watts being saved times how many units they done. Mission accomplished. Submit the paperwork, you get your money. Right? Connie, am I right?
Yeah, and if you don't even want to do that math, you can just go to the ROI tool on our website and it will do the math for you.
Which we're going to have a whole session tomorrow on how to calculate ROI, and we're going to go into that tool. So if you're interested in learning more about that and making it even easier.
So Kylie, give me a standard utility program out there, okay? Upstream, downstream, and the 82 watt savings. How much you think you can get for me for the 82 watt savings?
So let's go with ComEd. It's very easy to calculate. They do 50 cents per watt saved. That's huge.
He says
You take
per
82 times.
Oh my God, hold on a second.
Yeah.
50 cents, so
Yes.
that means that unit, somebody's going to pay me $41. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's crazy, right?
What
That's
did you do with your $41?
I know.
You can do
I
so much.
need a pair of new shoes.
New
Okay,
shoes.
right. New shoes. $41, guys. $41.
And that's per unit.
Just for one panel.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
not done yet. Paul's getting frustrated. Paul,
Paul's
relax.
getting excited.
Paul, you okay?
No.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Because
Hold on a
he's gonna have to
second.
build a lot of panels.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Everybody slow down. Everybody slow down here. I just want to have some fun. Then Paul said, you know what?
We're having a lot of fun.
Why don't you,
Fun.
Paul said this, okay? Then our dear friend from New York,
Oh.
and then Fitch come in and say, you know what? In order to match the light port this and that, blah, 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 he said, you know what?
Yeah.
Why don't you using premium panels?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Am I right, Paul?
yes, you are correct.
Am I correct?
You are
If
correct.
you're using premium panels, those guys over there, you know what they do? They're using 29 watts.
Okay.
Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, 29 and 23 watt, yes.
29 watt. All of a sudden, I'm not kidding here. 128 minus 29 watt, it's 9. It's 9.
You know, it's funny you bring that up, Ellis. He just put an order in for that.
If
Let
you're
me guess, it
using a
needs to ship in the
premier,
next 20 minutes.
You are correct.
if you're using a premier 29 watt, you save 99 watt with a 50 cents here, okay?
I don't know what
5,
the savings
4.
are. Might not be that aggressive.
You actually get $49.50. You almost get a $50 rebate back. Our job is, Paul is getting ready for all the products ready for you.
Mhm.
It's your call now, okay? We will tell you what can you do to get more money, and so on and so forth.
We're just here to help.
Okay?
Like, that's what we do with our
Yeah, but you know
utilities
what? It's like a no-brainer. Why? But you know what? I understand. Okay, some people they build their business model based on
on
that,
this.
on this. Okay, but for your guys, do not build a business on this business. You don't have to do it because Carly is going to do it. All
Shut
Leslie's asking is every time you save money, get her pair of new shoes. That's what she's asking. Okay, no percentage, nothing. Okay, am I right, Leslie?
I'd love it.
That's
That's
a lot
it.
of new shoes.
That's a lot of
New shoes.
I gotta pay for my new boots.
Right. You know what I mean, guys? It's a free money on the table, and we will do all the work for you. Okay? And we have all the products available for you at
We
the
have-
same time.
I mean, you saw the scroll on the website. There's
So-
so many products that are available. There's so many programs. You definitely just want to
Yeah.
get into contact. Give it a shot on a project.
And then let us to do the work.
We love
Okay?
doing the work.
So we're taking care of both ends. We're offering all the matching products with the more than one options on the one side.
Absolutely.
We finish the paperwork on the other side for whoever doesn't want to do it. But just give us opportunity. Let us show you what we're capable to do. In the meantime, believe it or not, okay, we have become very offensive right now. So in other words, we get information from Carly. Carly's take the lead. We go after those territories, electrical distributors, lighting
Absolutely.
distributors, ESCOs. We're going to pushing our message through.
And let them know. And that's where you guys all come in because you can take advantage of these services today
Right.
or any day. You can get in touch with Colleen directly. You can talk to your TCP territory manager, any of them. Reach out to Ellis or myself. We're happy to make sure that you have all the information. all the
Exactly.
everything
Okay.
you need to take advantage of these
Please
programs.
engage with us.
Mhm.
Okay, let's all together. Okay, let's grab some monies on the table.
So there's one more thing
Yes.
that I want to show. And if you go back to that presentation, and we're going to add this as part of our thank you email for all of you. So we're going to send out a thank you email on this guy. Go to the very last slide. And that is our utility rebate checklist. So this is just an easy, simple utility rebate checklist. What we check down as we go through and work out of the utility rebates. Again, TCP has taken the guesswork out of utility rebates, and it also has Colleen's contact information on that. It tells you everything that you need to do to make sure that you can take advantage of these rebate programs, maximize your savings, make sure you're finding products that fit the molds for your programs. It's just an easy peasy one pager. We're gonna make sure that gets out to everybody so that you have that information and you can think TCP when you're taking advantage of rebates. So
Sounds good. Okay.
you
Hey,
didn't even know that existed, did you?
Exactly. Not me. No,
And I bet 90% of our sales team didn't know either. So
Right, so don't feel bad. We have the same problem here. So that being said, hey guys, really appreciate. Hey Robert, we really appreciate your message you sending.
yeah.
Tom, okay, send us some message to us. Let's be engaged, okay?
Mhm.
Can you see anything else over there?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to some people and we really appreciate everybody taking the time and joining us today on our Let's Talk Lighting series. This is the first time that we've kind of switched up our format. We're talking not products directly on. Look at how great my commercial downlight is, and it's in stock and ready to ship today. And it is. But about another service that TCP provides, because we want to try and make sure that you're getting the most, not only out of your products,
Correct.
but out of our company to maximize your savings and what we can do to help you maximize your business.
Sounds really good.
So
Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
hopefully we see you tomorrow where we talk
Yeah.
about ROI calculations and the tools that we have and what we can do to make it easier on you. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.